Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. So we're on to starting chapter 4, which is all about writing linear functions. And so we learned all about linear functions last chapter and how they're similar to linear equations and how they're a little bit different and all of the things that go along with that. But what we're going to talk about specifically is how do we take information they give us and then actually write the function itself, or even just an equation. So it doesn't necessarily even have to be a function. So that's what we're going to be talking about throughout this chapter. And our lesson number 1 is going to specifically talk about the process of writing equations in slope-intercept form. Now, if you remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Now, specifically, we should also remember that we're looking for m, all right, trying to figure that out, which is the slope, and then we'll also be looking for b, which is the y-intercept. So we want to remember that information as well. This is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. Now, the y and the x themselves will stay the same. They're going to stay as a y, and they're going to stay as an x. So when it comes to writing equations in slope-intercept form, there's really kind of 3 things specifically we have to do. The first thing that we want to do is we want to identify the slope, right? Sometimes they'll just tell you, hey, the slope is this. Or sometimes you'll have to look at the graph and figure that out. Sometimes they might give you 2 points, and then you need to use that slope formula of m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All of those are things that could happen as we're going along. So we're going to use different processes at different times to find the slope. The second thing we need to do is we need to identify the y-intercept. Now again, this is something they might just give to you. It might be something that we have to look at the graph and figure out where does it cross the y-axis. So there might be some stuff involved in that. And then last thing we're going to do is we're going to plug it into the equation of y equals mx plus b. That's what we talked about here at the beginning. So once we've got the m, we're going to put that number in for the m. Once we've got the b, we're going to put that in for the b. And then we would simplify it if necessary. So make sure that we pay attention to what's going on with that. So that is the process that we're going to be going through. Just wanted to spend a moment explaining it, but that's all we're really going to talk about in lesson 1 is that process. In lesson 2, you'll see we're going to use this process with some examples. Well, if you have any additional questions, please let me know. Otherwise, you should have what you need to continue on to lesson number 2.